One of the reasons I'm here is because Joanne said for me to come.
That's right.
As you all know, we were here during the campaign, and we're all delighted to be back. We appreciate the support that you gave us during the election. Now, you've got to understand that I'm a novice to all this. I'm a newcomer in this business.
Don't believe a word he said.
And but you kind of walk into all of this, and all of a sudden you get hit with some things that you never thought about in your life. And so what I've tried to do is use a common sense approach to all of this. I'll try to listen. I try to get all the information I can get. Try to make the best decisions that I can make for all of us. And I try to put myself in the issue. I try to ask myself, how would you want this thing to be? What's best for you? What's best for the people in the community where I live in Fairview? What's best for you folks? And then I kind of churn all that up and use that as a decision maker. I'm sure that David talked about the fact that from an economic standpoint, this is the toughest time that our county commissioners have ever faced. Most of you know that I served AB Tech for 40-odd years. In the 50-year history of AB Tech, not one year in all those years did they get a cut in the funding from Buncombe County, because Buncombe County is responsible for the buildings and the maintenance and the custodial operations, those kinds of things. That's by law. This is the first year in 50-year history that they'll get a cut rather than an increase in their allocation. I think I use that and say that sort of as a guide of how tough the times are, and I think you know the value of AB Tech. The numbers of people who are going there is, and Carol is the chair of that board, is just out. There are over 7,200 curriculum students, 26 or 7,000 people in the non-credit programs, and it just keeps going this way. But the money from the state is doing this, and so a little bit of reduction from Buncombe County. They're going to make it. They're going to do. They'll be fine as we can right this economy. It's got to happen nationally, and then it's got to happen at the state level. State is, what is it, $4.6 billion in the hole? A lot of things have got to happen to get $4.6 billion back into the state economy. I'm enjoying being a county commissioner. Got to present Cliff Dodson, as he said, with his Cliff Dodson Day plaque up at McCormick Field a few minutes ago.
Ask him where his orange hat is.
It's in my wife's pocketbook.
Have it on?
Well, but Cliff Dodson did a great job in 9 years working for Buncombe County Schools, and we've got a new superintendent to take over July 1, and we want to make sure that we support Tony Baldwin and make sure that he can be successful in providing opportunities for the children in the school system.
I am pleased to be here. It was just maybe 2 weeks ago, Bruce and I were here at your Hunter's dinner. It's always a pleasure to be back. See familiar faces and appreciate your support. As these two gentlemen have said, this is a great board. This is a great working board. We complement each other. The things that David said as our chair and Ray came in, even though Ray did not hear exactly what David said, I can guarantee you that the things that David shared with you, both Ray and I are in agreement with what he shared with you. These are tough times. We asked each department in our county to cut 5% from their budget. They did that. School systems, Asheville City, Buncombe County, AB Tech did that. Everyone did that. You will notice that the amount of funding that Big Ivy gets, the $30,000 that comes from the county, will be cut by 5%. I think it'll be $27,000 something. So that's across the board. But I know you also know the funding that you get through the libraries, the library, county library for computer this year, I think, and some books. I think that's something that the book situation may happen every year, but I think the fact that a computer was added this year may be new. I know you also know that you get a grant, or maybe a $5,000 grant from our Parks, Recreation, and Greenways, and that, along with some sweat equity that you good folks up here put in, took care of, I think, new pool cover and a new pump situation. I know I pulled up on your website this afternoon a few minutes that we had at home, and it's simply amazing what happens at this community center. I know living here, you know what happens, but it's amazing. You are a model community center. All the things that happen here, it's just page after page on your website. We get your newsletter, and it's amazing the information that's contained in that newsletter, and I know the folks who get it in this area are so pleased that happens. I've come here to say 2 or 3 things. One, David said, we're going to keep the property tax rate where it is. We're going to keep core services as good or better than you're used to seeing them in Buncombe County. And we're here to applaud you for the community center that you run. You really are a model. You may not know it because you're in the midst of it every day, but you really are a model, and we appreciate what you do. And we're here to work with you in any capacity we can. The 3 of us are simply here because of our high regard for you, and we want to hear the things that you have to say. And thank you so much. We appreciate what you do.
Somebody tell me, since I don't know, because it was mentioned the other day about some health care opportunities for the community. Who can speak to that? Anybody speak to that? We're going to start pointing at each other. You got to watch Denny. I've known Denny for too many years.
You know, we really have been working hard over the past couple of years to bring back the health care center that we had here. Hot Springs met with some unfortunate circumstances, some of it's financial, which caused them to lose 2 doctors back about 3 years ago. And while we had a wonderful clinic, we thought it was going well. We were just getting ready to be open 3 days a week. We were 2 days a week on a half-time basis, getting ready to go for 3 days a week when Hot Springs lost their doctors, and they really had to pull back to within their own borders itself, within the Madison County area. And we have tried. We've reached out, as you've mentioned, to Mandy Stone. We've reached out to Mission Hospital. We've reached out to various doctors and clinics throughout this area. And, you know, we're in that peculiar situation where we have a need, except we're out here in the middle of nowhere. And doctors, it's very difficult for them to work partial days at one clinic and come out here and put in the time in the clinic. But we have a lot of wonderful people who have been working with us, so we've been thinking about nurse practitioners. We've been thinking about all of those different things, even some telemedicine projects of how we can provide just the basic care itself for our community, particularly for the elderly, and particularly for those people who need a lot of medical laboratory work done, because we can shuttle those labs back. But we have just not been successful. We have what we think are good facilities for that, but we have just not seen the medical climate yet become available to us out here in this area.
When you do, I just have a note that we got from our manager, and in our policy is we're still open to helping with capital on the clinic if there's a partnership that you can work out, because we thought that was a good thing, and I know we were real proud of it for you. And I said we're not going to do new capital, but you know, there's certain things for communities that are trying to help themselves. We're not going to get in your way, and we want to help you. And that's one that this board feels real strong. This board feels very strongly about health care. We don't have to give everybody primary care, but as long as these folks sit in this seat, they're going to do that. Because it's not anybody's fault they don't have insurance or health care. And until our government, federal government, probably ought to be doing it, because that'd be the cheapest way to deliver it, we're going to do it here.
I think our biggest problem in getting it started yet, I think we've got it